Warning: this series includes foul language, statements, and more. Viewer distraction is advised. Hey, what's going on, Megabytes? Dark Mega here, with another episode of Annoying Alex. In the last episode, Alex visited Amy and met Amy's dad. I wonder what will happen in this episode of Annoying Alex. Let's find out in this episode of Annoying Alex. Alex and Amy talks about history, World War I. Enjoy. Welcome to Alex Talks About History, and I'm here with Amy.
Ready when you are.
Okay, where was I? World War I was a global war originating in Europe that lasted from the 28th of July 1914 to the 11th of November 1918. Contemporaneously known as the Great War, or the War to End All Wars, it led to the mobilization of more than 70 million military personnel, including 60 million Europeans, making it one of the largest wars in history.
In 1915, the Triple Alliance was only defensive in nature, allowing Italy to stay out of the war, when it joined the Allied powers after its relations with Austria-Hungary deteriorated.
In 1916, the Battle of the Somme, also known as the Somme Offensive, was a battle of the First World War fought by the armies of the British Empire and French Third Republic against the German Empire. It took place between the 1st of July and the 18th of November 1916 on both sides of the upper reaches of the River Somme in France. The battle was intended to hasten a victory for the Allies. More than 3 million men fought in the battle, and 1 million men were wounded or killed, making it one of the deadliest battles in human history.
In 1917, with Russia experiencing political upheaval, and with the remaining Entente nations low on credit, Germany appeared to have the upper hand in Europe, while the Ottoman Empire, Germany's ally, held on to its territory in modern-day Iraq, Syria and Palestine. However, an Entente economic embargo and naval blockade was by now causing shortages of fuel and food in Germany, at which point Germany decided to resume unrestricted submarine warfare.
In 1918, one by one the Central Powers quit, first Bulgaria, September 29th, then the Ottoman Empire, October 31st, and the Austro-Hungarian Empire, November 3rd. With its allies defeated, revolution at home, and the military no longer willing to fight, Kaiser Wilhelm abdicated on the 9th of November and Germany signed an armistice on the 11th of November, ending the war.
The Treaty of Versailles was the most important of the peace treaties that brought World War I to an end. The treaty ended the state of war between Germany and the Allied powers. It was signed on the 28th of June 1919 in the Palace of Versailles, exactly 5 years after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which had directly led to the war. The other Central Powers on the German side signed separate treaties. Although the armistice, signed on the 11th of November 1918, ended the actual fighting, it took 6 months of Allied negotiations at the Paris Peace Conference to conclude the peace treaty. The treaty was registered by the Secretariat of the League of Nations on the 21st of October 1919.
The League of Nations was the first worldwide intergovernmental organization whose principal mission was to maintain world peace. Founded on the 10th of January 1920 following the Paris Peace Conference that ended the First World War, it ceased operations on the 20th of April 1946.
The Great Depression was a severe worldwide economic depression that took place mostly during the 1930s, beginning in the United States. The timing of the Great Depression varied across the world. In most countries, it started in 1929 and lasted until the late 1930s. It was the longest, deepest, and most widespread depression of the 20th century. The Great Depression is commonly used as an example of how intensely the global economy can decline. Anyways, that was fun.
Hey Alex, can I do a history talk time as well? Sure. That would be fun. I think we should do World War II. To be continued. This was Season 7 Episode 5 of Annoying Alex. Next episode, Alex and Jack are going to be talking about history. This episode was called Alex and Amy Talks About History World War I. Like, subscribe, and as always, stay mega safe.